Joshua 10. Now it came to pass when Adonai-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai, and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king, so he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel, and were among them, that they feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty. Wherefore Adonai-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, sent unto Hoam, king of Hebron, and unto Piram, king of Jarmuth, and unto Japhia, king of Lachish, and unto Debir, king of Eglon, saying, Come up unto me, and help me, that we may smite Gibeon, for it hath made peace with Joshua and with the children of Israel. Therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together, and went up, they and all their hosts, and encamped before Gibeon, and made war against it. And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp to Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants. Come up to us quickly, and save us and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And the Lord said unto Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thine hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly, and went up from Gilgal all night. And the Lord discomfited them before Israel, and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up to Beth-horon, and smote them to Azekah and unto Makkedah. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel, and were in the going down to Beth-horon, that the Lord cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Azekah, and they died. There were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou, moon, in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. And there was no day like that before it or after it, but the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Much honors to you brothers out there that's in the spirit, the hidden warriors. And, man, the Lord was always with his mighty men. This particular story right here deals with Joshua, which Joshua was one of the mighty men of the Lord, man. They did a whole lot of slaying, and the Lord was with Joshua to slay. And what you have to understand is, one thing you have to understand, when the Lord is with you, man, nothing can be against you, man. And our history is a very mighty history, man. The Israel of the Lord, the sons of Jacob, and the prophets of old, when the Lord was with them, you know, if the Lord was with you, then it's nothing that could stop you. And that's what should be taught, man, instead of shit about fucking people in the world and what Esau is going to do. Our people are reprobate now. They're in a defiled mind state, which they don't have any faith. But the Lord was with his mighty man. Joshua asked the Lord to help him with his enemies, man, and the Lord did just that. And it was never a day that stood still while they was able to get revenge on their enemies. So what you got to understand is, if the Lord is with you, you're unstoppable, man. Just like that king in Balaam, I think it was that Moab king. He said he can't curse what the Lord have blessed. Right. You can't curse what the Lord have actually blessed, man. You know, if the Lord is with you, man, who can be against you? And so that's why when you do this work in the sight of the Lord, and you do it the way the men of the Lord did, they did it effectively. They did it mightily. So therefore the Lord was with them, and the Lord would always tell his man, go ahead down there, for I'll be with you. And our people were mighty men. King David, they was a mighty man. The sons of Jacob, they were mighty. They were mighty men. You know, our forefathers, Abraham, going all the way down. The men of the Lord were on a whole nother level. The nations actually feared our people in the history. Yeah, when you go into the history of our people, our peoples used to take down cities and towns, man. Mighty men will come up against our forefathers. And if the Lord was with you, man, it was nothing that nobody could do. I want to read this real quick. Psalms 121 and 1 and 2. My help cometh from the Lord, which made the heaven and the earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. He says, behold, he that keepeth Israel shall never sleep, never slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. It says, the sun shall not smite thee by day, nor moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. And that's what the Lord will do. When the Lord is with you, I'm going to read this story. I'm going to read a little bit of that Joshua, going back to Joshua. But when the Lord is actually with you, there's nothing that the enemies can do. And going back in the history, the enemies in the other nations, they feared Israel, man. The kings and everybody, they feared them because they knew the power of our people. Now, Psalms 44 and 5. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. Through the Lord. This is of the Lord. Oh, verse 4 says, thou art my king, O power, command the deliverance of Jacob. See, the sons of Jacob, man, the Lord was with them. They were blessed, man. They were blessed, going down from Abraham, Isaac, all the way down to the sons of Jacob, man. These were warriors. And then going back to that story of Joshua real quick, which I'm going to read a little bit of it. It shows you, like, when you're mighty, when the Lord is with you, you're able to take down cities and nations. You see, and men will fear you. So this is what our history has to do with. You see, I don't know why guys don't go into the history of our nation like that, and they're scared of what Esau's going to do. If guys understood what our history was and how our people were warriors, wouldn't be nothing to worry about Esau at all. Wouldn't nobody worry about Esau? Because in the history with Esau's a loser, man. He's a loser, man. Esau was losing. He was losing like almost every fucking war. But I'm gonna read a little bit in Joshua. See, when the Lord is with you, there's nothing that nobody can do. And these nations knew that the Lord was with some of the nations knew the history of our forefathers and shit like that, man. And they feared it, man. So this is Joshua 10 verses 11. And it came to pass as they fled from before Israel and were going down to Bethhoron, the Lord cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Azekah, and they died. There were more which died with hailstones than whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. Look at that, man. So the Lord told you when you go up to 8 right here, because these kings, they were coming together. But the Lord told them, and this is what the Lord is saying to us, man. Let me read this. Joshua chapter 10, verse 5, it says, "Therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, king of Jeshurun, Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jermoth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eldon, gathered themselves and went up, and they and all their hosts encamped before Gibeon and made war against it." Right, so you had 5 kings. So that's a lot of firepower and soldiers. You see that? "And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp of Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants. Come up to us quickly, save us, and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us." You see that? And the scripture tell you is the victory of the battle is not in the multitude of thy hosts. I'm going to grab that too. So it says, "Joshua ascended from Gilgal, and he and all the people of war were with him, and all the mighty men of valor." You see that? So the Lord deals with mighty men, strong men, not weak men. You see, these men were Joshua was in the spirit. You see? "And the Lord said unto Joshua," check this out, "Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thine hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee." You hear that? So it's kind of like what when you go to Judas Maccabees real quick. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 16. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 19 real quick. Matter of fact, 18. "Unto whom Judas answered, It is no hard matter for many to be set up in the hands of a few. And with the Most High of heaven, it is all one to deliver with a great multitude or a small company. For the victory of the battle standeth not in the multitude of the host, but strength coming from heaven." Right, so Joshua was a mighty man of the Lord because the Lord was with him, man, just like he was with all our other forefathers and the true men of the Lord. Men of valor. These were loyal men unto the Lord. So going back to Joshua, keep in mind, you had all these kings come and form together, and the Lord just told Joshua, he said, let me read it again, Joshua 10 and 8. See, that's why, like, in these times to come, guys that's been faking it, that's not in the spirit, they're showing you how much faith they actually have when they keep going into Esau, because they're scared of all these things that come in, the famine and all that. Well, it's a famine of the word. That's what's important. It's a spiritual famine, because the guys that have the fame and the clout, they're not in the spirit of the Lord teaching. So that's a famine right there. That's a famine right there. The true words of the Lord, they're not really being spoken. You got all these fucking washed up phonies teaching this word, man, in the respect of persons. Man pleasing, double honoring guys when the Lord didn't get any honor. But anyway, Joshua 10 and 8, this is what the Lord said. It says, "And the Lord said unto Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thine hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee." Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly and went up from Gilgal all night. And the Lord discomfited them before Israel and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth from Betharon, and smote them to Azekah unto Makkedah. Right, so the power of Israel, the nations knew of it. Because when your Lord is with you, there's nothing they can do. And Esau knows that too. So for guys to put all this concentration on what Esau's going to do, Esau's a loser, man. Esau's a loser, just like you guys. You talk about Esau so much, that means you're a loser just like his ass. Rather, going into stories of Joshua and the men of the Lord of our forefathers that actually had the Lord on their side, and they were invincible. You see? Yeah, men like Joshua and our other forefathers was invincible, that was in the Lord. Now it says, and it came to pass that they fled from before Israel, and they were going down to Beth-horon. And the Lord cast down great stones from heaven unto Azekah, and they died. There were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. So, being it more that was being slain by hailstones, that was letting you know that the Lord, the one does the heavy work. You see, the Lord smites our enemies. Then Joshua spake to the Lord in that day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel, and said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about the whole day. There was no day like that before it and after it, that the Lord hearkened to the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. You see that? So there was no day like it. The Lord made the sun and the moon stand still. The Lord does these miracles. That's why the scriptures say, though I walk through this valley of death with all these goddamn phonies and clowns, we will not fear, because the Lord is with us. And that's what you got to understand. The nations feared us when our power was with us, man. They feared us. There's nothing you can do. And so, by the way, men are teaching His word. They're not teaching it with faith that the Lord will be with you. They're teaching in a place where they're trying to make you scared. It's like they're working for Esau or something, trying to keep you in a scared mind frame, when all these miracles in the scriptures that the Lord did for His prophets and His men, and guys is not remembering that. And the Lord said He's going to disappoint this devil. But the Lord stopped the sun for Joshua, man. So what that's saying is, it's nothing impossible for the Lord. That's what Yahushua said. Yahushua said that. Matter of fact, let's get one of these real quick. You see? Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. But Yahushua beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with the Most High all things are possible. So anything's possible, man. Anything's possible, miracles and all that shit. But you got to believe it. You got to be like in a mind state to where you know the Lord's with you, like Joshua was, like all our forefathers, like Abraham displayed a heavy amount of faith. Even Joseph, Jacob, all these stories of these men were stories of faith and power to show you that the Lord, you would be invincible with the Lord on your side. You see, and that's how these men went down and they slaughtered these kings in these cities and mighty men and shit like that, because the Lord was with them when He went down to battle. Luke 1:37, for with the Most High, nothing shall be impossible. So the Lord tells you that, man. And without faith, the Lord said it's impossible to please Him. So guys, teaching His word without faith, man, you're going to be destroyed. And all your listeners, you see, all you guys that's taking these backdoor deals, and you trying to get our people to stumble and fall. Well, the majority of them, they're going to fall just like your ass. But as for you brothers that have faith and that believe in this thing like that, it's nothing impossible like the Lord. Like Yahushua just said, it's nothing impossible with the Lord. Matter of fact, I read this. Matthew 17:20, and Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief, verily I say unto you, because ye have a faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence in yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So it's nothing impossible with faith. Nothing is impossible with the Lord, man. One more. Luke 18:27. And He said, the things which are impossible with men, but possible with the Most High. That's right, man. So you have to understand, there's nothing impossible with the Lord in these days, man. The Lord is protecting us. He's pulling strings that we don't have no idea what the Lord's doing. Judith 5:20. Now, therefore, my Lord Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But check this out. See, these nations, just like Esau has the history. He knows, like, if the Lord is with you, you're invincible. You see what I'm saying? Now it says, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power be for them, which we become a reproach before all the world. Right? So the Lord, when the Lord showed that he was with you to go down to battle, just like right now, all you fucking reprobates that's not in the spirit and you're not of the Lord, and you know the Lord's not with you, and you guys know you're corrupt, but you're steady teaching. So like our job is to let brothers know to stay away from all these major groups, because you guys been swallowed up with the world. So what's happening right now is the Lord is showing us that he's with us, man. You see? Deuteronomy 20:4 says, for your Lord, your power, is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. You understand that, man? That's what you got to understand. Psalms 33. Yeah, so the sun stopped. The sun stopped, man, for Joshua, man, in that battle. The Lord stopped the sun for Joshua. These are the things that the Lord can do. There's nothing impossible with the Lord. Psalms 33:12. Blessed is the nation whose power is the Lord's, and the nation whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. So we're blessed. But on this round, the majority of you guys, you're going to have to die, man. You see? Jumping down to 18. Behold, the eyes of the Lord is upon them that fear him, and upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. You see that? So with the Lord, man, it is nothing impossible. You're pretty much invincible with the Lord. Just like Satan told the Lord told Satan told the Lord, he said, hey, don't you have a hedge around Job and everything he has? See, the Lord, he puts that protection around you. And once the Lord does that, you can't touch him. So Satan can't touch you if the Lord has that hedge around you. And so what these guys are doing, they're having our people weaken themselves so they won't have that protection and that belief in the Lord in this time. But all these things you guys are doing are going to backfire in your goddamn face, all you deceivers. But there's nothing impossible with the Lord, man. There's nothing impossible with the Lord. That's why you have to have faith in the Lord, that he's going to deliver you. But with that, man, the Lord stopped the sun for Joshua, and he will do the same for his true men in these days, man. You know, he'll do the same. He'll do mighty works like that. Remember, the Lord said it's nothing impossible. With that, shalom.
Spazzing out Pluto.